Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the CSL. I'm Joe, and joining me here today is not Fear Dragon. Instead, it is Kwame Tempo Mensa. How are you doing tonight, buddy?
Joe and Tempo in. No, I was kidding. And I'm doing really good, really good. Finally got a chance to rest up from a pretty epic weekend, so getting right back onto the grind, baby.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
What were you doing this weekend?
I went to some small-time tournament on the East Coast.
Sounds super lame.
It was all right. I mean, it was cool, but they just had like laptops. Basically, we played with link cables as well.
Oh,
like,
that's
there
cool.
was, like, a Pokemon Blue like trainer battle over there too.
Right
So-
on. Well,
She's Adelphia, man. It was awesome. You know that. Oh, such a good event.
yeah, it was a lot of fun, but we are now here in the CSL. We've got a pretty good match coming up for you guys tonight. It's going to be Georgia Tech versus a very scary school, University of Washington. They're undefeated so far in the CSL, standing at 4-0, mostly because of two really good players, Lamb Sauce and his teammate Zeal, who is a WCS Challenger player.
Yeah, he is. When you hear the name Zeal, it's always like these schools will have like one player at least that you've definitely heard of, has been in Challenger maybe, or plays in a lot of online cups and whatnot. But definitely, yeah, Zeal is a name that's been around for a while too.
Yeah, and Georgia Tech has one really good player, Theory. He's been around forever. I was actually talking to him this weekend, talking about him this weekend with Penguin, who told me that Theory started taking the game pretty seriously again. He's laddering up hard, and they're just going to try to be surviving till they can get to him so they can play him twice in a row. But we can talk more about strategy later because, ladies and gentlemen, we are preparing to jump into our first game, spawning here in the bottom right-hand corner. Playing for Georgia Tech, give it up for our blue Protoss player. It is Pluto.
Look at this. He's out of this world. And in the top left-hand corner, representing, he is what, Washington, University of Washington?
Yes, University of
Yeah,
Washington.
it is our purple Zerg player, Lamb Sauce. You got the sauce. Just sauce.
I have to fix my hotkeys because apparently it didn't stick when I changed them.
It's all good. All right, well, here we are going to be spawning on Catalyst, by the way. So I think the map pool for this is pretty standard. The only one that I didn't see on it that might be in the ladder map pool was Ascension to Ire and Neon Violet Square. Jeez, I couldn't remember the name of it, but yeah, Neon Violet Square, Ascension to Ire. And it makes me happy because Battle of the Boardwalk is on it, and that's a map that a lot of people hate to play, so we never get to really see it played in a tournament level for the most part. But I'm super happy that it's in the map pool.
My settings are so messed up, and I don't know if that's your fault or Lucky's.
Oh, I forgot we were
We were playing some late night ladder games.
Yeah, no, I don't think I really mess with your settings, man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna blame it on
Lucky
Lucky.
changed all of them.
Oh man. Does he
Okay.
use like the core or something?
No, like just graphics and mouse speed. That's okay. I'll up the graphics after this game, guys. Sorry, but think about it like a pro stream.
There we go.
We are watching an MLG no scope player play some video games right now, and you just need the highest frames possible.
There you go. You gotta catch that action as fast as you can, So here we are, though, starting with a very, very standard build out of both players. I believe, though, Pluto ended up going for the Cybercore before he went for the Nexus, so it's a little bit safer, not playing too much on the greedy side, while Lamb Sauce went for the Hatch Gas Pool. So,
Yeah, he's getting his speed out pretty quickly, not going for anything too crazy. Once we're able to deal with those first adepts, they're going to be coming across the map right now. And I think we're just going to see a lot of poking and prodding. The one thing that I do want to make sure everybody is aware of is Lamb Sauce is, it's fair to say, a significantly higher level player than Pluto. Lamb Sauce is a guy that's, I think, like mid-GM. Pluto, we looked at, was a diamond player. That's not to say Pluto's hopeless, though.
No, it's not hopeless, but it's definitely him being the underdog here. And there's something that we need to note here is that Lamb Sauce already getting a Baneling Nest. He didn't pull out a gas at all. So if this Adept can get up there and at least see that the third isn't there, it is about, past the 3-minute mark. So that's like one thing you need to check. And then the second thing is that you have to know, as he pulled out of gas, is there a roach warren coming down? Is it a baneling nest? Having these kind of having this kind of information is really important.
Yeah,
especially because
we have seen that Lamb Sauce does like to open up with lings a lot. I'm not sure if that's something he does specifically in ZVP, or I think he played a Zerg last week and he did the same thing. It seems like it's kind of standard of what he likes to do. He's got that baneling nest coming up pretty quickly here, and Pluto is aware of it. He does have shield batteries up, the second one on the way, and he's increasing his SimCity a little bit. He's got a sentry out to help with this, and I mean, this Overlord sees, he knows what's coming, but I don't know if he can hold it with just the Adept, the sentry, and the shield batteries.
Yeah, it's literally only going to be these two units. The Immortal is so far away, and here come the Banelings. Really sick force field, though. And these Banelings, I mean, they could try to take out the Cyber Core, but I think it's a pretty high HP structure. So even going for a gateway would be better, but he might try to go for both. Waste a few of the Banelings here. And I don't know, he's kind of indecisive here. He's trying to, like, time it for when the force field is over.
Yeah, but, I mean, there's a second sentry here now. The energy's going to be building up. Pluto's continuing to throw down pylons here. Doesn't want to be overreacting too much, but I think it's better to be on the safe side when you're playing a player like this that is probably a bit better than you.
Absolutely, yeah. He's up by a few workers too, Pluto, so he just needs to survive right now. He's going for the Cyber Core, and he gets another force field at the right time, but it just doesn't do enough. That Cyber Core is down. He needs to replace that building, or he's going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, one other thing I want to point out is 2 drones went down. Does that happen when you cancel them with Gameheart?
I don't know. I think he might have had he didn't have an Adept on the other side or anything, right?
I don't think so. But, I mean, Pluto's held this.
No, he's actually in a really good spot here. He has a better army supply now. That Baneling bust really didn't do what it needed to do. So, the fact that all he lost was a Cyber Core is pretty good for him. Except for the fact that it means that he can only warp in Zealots at the time being, but he's getting ready to do a counter push.
Yeah, and he's going to have 4 gateways backing this up. His Cyber Core will be back up by then. And he's going to have 2 Immortals, 3 Sentries, a Warp Prism, a bunch of Zealots, and then probably a wave or 2 of Stalkers behind that. And this can be a super powerful push.
It really can be, especially because as a Zerg player, you're trying to drone back up now. And I think he left an Immortal at home, so Pluto, if he had that Immortal with him, it's going to make this push so much better because the main defense is going to be Roaches here for Lamb Sauce. So I think that, like, just that one unit at home, it could be the difference between him just rolling over Lamb Sauce, which would be an amazing feat for him.
Yeah, especially when you have 3 Sentries, those Immortals can just survive absolutely forever, and with the Warp Prism available to Micro. But here comes the beginning of this push. Zealot's going to get right on top of these Zerglings here, and the buffer is now evaporated. Good use of the Prism to pull back those Zealots. Keeping his army alive is Pluto. He is trying to make this happen right here and now.
He really is. I'm wondering if he wants to go for the third or if he's actually going for the kill. Keep in mind that Pluto is still on only 2 bases, and the Roach count is starting to get a little bit higher and higher.
Yeah, but he's still trading pretty effectively here, is Pluto. Although that's a huge mistake, allowing that Zergling to get targeted by the Immortal. Really good baiting by Lamb Sauce here. And he's continuing to whittle away at the Zealot count while the Roach count continues to climb. The Immortal gets blinked back up into that Warp Prism. But it's starting to look like Lamb Sauce may have the tools he needs to defend this push without taking any significant damage.
Yeah, he only lost about 5 workers. And like I'm saying, imagine if another Immortal was here. This one Immortal has 19 kills. And if you add another one to that, I mean, the Roaches just go down so much quicker. Yeah, that is. And this is a successful hold.
If you add another Immortal to that, that is more than the amount of Roaches on the map, Kwame.
Wow, that would have been sick though. You know, if he was able to get that. It's always one of those mom spaghetti moments when you're facing against somebody who's better, and then you hold an initial bust. And you hope that your counterattack can do significant damage, but that is the kind of defense that Lamb Sauce needed. And yeah, I think going from this stage of the game without having a third base as the Protoss, it's going to be up to him to do some kind of fancy stuff here.
Looks like the Zealots are trying to get up into that mineral line. Not going to get anything done is Pluto. And now he's in just a really hard position. He's actually not mining gas.
Oh, no,
at all. And he's making this is interesting. He's making assimilators, Okay, he has now at least regassed this. He's storing his chrono boost for something. I think we're probably going to see maybe like an 8-gate follow-up and just go all in because... Well, what else? You're not going to expand and try to macro against a better player from behind. That doesn't make a lot of sense.
No, it's not going to go well for him. You can already see that Lamsauce has made it back up, caught up in drones. He's actually way up, almost 20 workers ahead. And even if this Twilight... I mean, he can spend all the chrono boost on the charge, but by the time charge finishes, this economy of Lamsauce is going to be way out of control. And the Hydras might even be out. +1 most likely is going to be done too. So, I mean, yeah, I believe if you're going to go for, like, the macro out of it, you want to be taking the third base, obviously, as you're doing the push. But, I mean, let's be real. I think Pluto was just like, okay, I think I have an opportunity to kill him. And he had the right tools, except he left one of the most vital units at home.
Yeah, he is going to have 2 Immortals for this follow-up. I mean, it's still a scary Protoss army, especially if he gets 6 more Stalkers warped in here. He's continuing to go for Zealots, and I wonder if that's just because he's so gas-starved. He's attacking right before charge finishes. I don't love that.
No, you definitely want charge. Yeah, charge not only lets you at least close the distance, but it gives you that extra damage when they do connect. Now, I guess this amount of Zealots will allow the Immortals to get their damage done. Pretty cool micro with the War Prism, but more units coming out. And when the Hydras start joining the fray, it might be a little bit harder. Fully saturated third right now. Pluto running on fumes as far as economy goes, but you know what? Charge is just finished right now, and that's going to allow him to get on top of the Hydras as well. But is there enough here, Joe?
I mean, drones are being pulled off the line. They're starting to go down pretty damn quickly here. But with the Hydras, there's actually a way to deal with this Warp Prism finally. Absolutely everything coming off the line. Good micro coming back here. I think at this point, you maybe just want to pick off some more drones and then pull back. Try to keep that worker count from spiraling out of control, but it looks like a solid hold once again from Lamsauce. Pluto completely out of steam here.
Yeah, he wasn't able to get the third base up because Lamsauce was able to keep a couple of lings by that third base, and if you try to take it now, you're just going to get overwhelmed by the roaches, so I believe that may have been his chance, but he's going to try to go into Templar Archives now in order to at least have some other different type of tech, add some Archons to the mix maybe. We'll see if he goes for Psystorm, but the thing that worries me the most, not only is it the economy of Lamsauce, but also the fact that he's going to be getting +2. So he's going to have a double upgrade lead in addition to Carapace as well. So,
you know what I would love to see in this situation?
What would you love to see, Joe?
Just 12 DTs. Like, yeah, right? You're probably not going to win anything else. 12 DTs, you might be able to DPS everything down before the Overseer gets there.
Yeah, I feel like if that were to be the next stage, you know, instead of going for charge and he just decided to go for the DTs, but I guess he felt like, you mentioned it earlier, the fact that he was probably starving for gas. You mentioned that he only took the gas after the push was over. So he really only was able to make Zealots, and I believe charge was the right choice. It's all about did he attack too quickly, and was he too far behind to actually do it in the first place?
Well, I think he's probably going to try to put one last army together.
Yep.
Just with Zealots and charge and a bunch of storms. It's going to be finishing up now. He warped in these High Templar just a few moments ago, so they're going to take just a little bit to get there. But we are eventually going to see this push out and move out. And, I mean, I don't know. It's a lot of roaches.
It is a lot of roaches. I'm glad that Pluto was able to keep his Warp Prism alive. But what we're going to start to see here is the power of the economy. It's going to be a numbers game. And when +2, +1 finishes here for Lamsauce, a Roach Hydra army is just, I think it's just going to be too much. You know, it's just going to be so tough. Even if the storms do land, it's not like they do that much against roaches, and it's not a very Hydra heavy army either. So
he is going to have a couple Archons for this fight, which could be helpful here.
Oh yeah,
going to snipe off the Queen really quickly with that bonus psionic damage here. And here comes the big army. Storms go down on a nice pack of Hydras. Zealot's going to be buffering for this army. Archon's firing down from the back. The 2 Immortals are pumping out a lot of damage on these roaches. The army size of Pluto, though, is just absolutely disappearing. He needs miracle storms to make this happen.
Oh, he does. He's actually had some really good storms during this engagement, but yeah, when the numbers are this much not in your favor, it's just not much you can do here. The Immortals, so many kills on each one, and down they go, gonna get a little bit of a taste of their own medicine. And that might be the final blow that causes Pluto to GG.
Congrats to Lamb Sauce for taking that first map, but I do want to say, really well played by Pluto as well when you're going up against a player that's a much higher level. It's really easy to make those basic mistakes and throw a big lead that you have. But I was impressed by how he held that first push. I think if he'd brought the Immortal along, he probably could have won.
I believe so too. I think it would have been a much different game. You know, Immortals are so good at that stage of the, I mean, they're really good at a lot of the stages of the game, but like right then and there when Lamb Sauce is trying to get his drone count up, he doesn't have as much as he would like, and he had already invested into an all-in, essentially. But luckily for him, he did take the third off of it. So yeah, that was actually really nice that he took the third, because like if the all-in doesn't work, then you're like, okay, well at least I have a chance to try to just drone this up, and then he comes to me.
Oh, I just clicked versus and got promoted. So rip everyone's ears. Boom, 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 boom.
Well, congrats, man. I knew you could do it. I knew you had it in you, bro.
Thank you. My new rank is unranked.
There you go.
I haven't played any games since the new map dropped today.
Oh shoot, was it really?
Yeah, hit versus. It'll explode in your
yeah.
ears.
Oh my. Dang. Oh, I wish I had another week to abuse Hydras. Dang.
All right, guys, don't go anywhere. We will be right back with the next series of games, or the next game.
But she said, trust me, these are the stories we will tell. As I stood frozen, infinite, I almost fell. But I got a feeling and my heart starts beating, a sudden rush of feeling alive. This is freedom and I won't change, I won't phase out.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to the CSL. We are getting ready to play some video games between Plumarant and Zeal. This should be a closer match in terms of talent, I would say. Plumarant a bit more active, just looking at his profile. But Zeal is an old WCS Challenger player, which can be a bit scary.
Oh yeah, definitely, I would say a more well-known player here. I didn't get to see what level of Master Plumarant was, but Zeal being Master 1, I mean, it's just the fact that he was... I think they're both previous GMs, though, to be honest. So even though Plumarant might not have the accolades of being in Challenger, I'm sure that he still could put up a good fight.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are spawning into our game, and in the lower left-hand corner here, playing for... or not Washington, rather, Georgia Tech, it is Plumarant.
And in the top right-hand corner of Blackpink, it is playing for University of Washington, Zeal.
Cool.
Ziggity Zeal. And here we go. It's going to be the same matchup, so it will indeed be another ZVP.
Terrans, of course, extinct.
Apparently, yeah.
Powerfo was in the chat, though. Powerfo, a high-level kind of GM, high Masters player, saying he thinks Terran is strong now, so we'll have to see if they have a resurgence in the CSL. But coming back.
Oh, he's Waterloo, yeah. He was actually at the CSL Finals last year.
Yeah, they all play mech and love a villa.
They do. They're like the memeiest team I've ever met in my life, but definitely a fun group to be around.
It does look like Zeal going for that early scout, just wants to make sure there's no shenanigans incoming, and you can't blame him. I think Zeal is a little less active maybe than Plumarant.
Okay.
Maybe a bit outside the meta. I think he mostly plays just a little bit for fun and then for CSL.
Right.
I don't see him popping up in those WCS qualifiers, those Katowice qualifiers.
Yeah, and there was a few that were just coming up too, right? Like the one that you were just mentioning. I don't know if Leipzig had one, or do they do full open bracket?
So Leipzig, the way WCS works is like the top 8 get in through the ladder qualifiers, and then they have an open bracket for the others, and that goes into Challenger.
Okay, that makes sense, yeah. I mean, that's how DreamHack has been, kind of, for a while even. But there is something to note about this game. Plumarant did take his gas a lot later than a typical Zerg would. And I can't tell if that was a pool first, but I don't think it's going to be a quick all-in type of pool first, because if you delay the gas, then you're really only going to have enough to make more drones or just make more queens.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna
slow link
attack, you want to get speed, right? So
Yeah,
that way
yeah.
your lings can get across the map and kill things.
I mean, unless there's Xanster, but, you know...
Three
Xanster-
hatch ling all in without speed.
Without speed. Get GM, no problem on NA, apparently.
I wish I could get GM without
Gas,
speed.
right?
I wish I could get GM with speed.
I wish I could get... Yeah, I was going to say. Maybe this is the reason why we can't get GM, because we're investing too much in gas.
It does look like
the whole time.
all about that macro probes and pylons.
Yep.
Here
Oh,
comes
this is interesting. And I'm not saying the Adepto. It's just the fact that we're seeing a very, very fast lair out of Plumarant. He literally skipped speed, went right into lair, and he's about to be facing a Stargate opener, and he does not have any Spore Crawlers inside of his mineral lines, but he does have 2 queens at least at the Nat.
Yeah, this I think is going to be a Nidus, just based on... No, we'd have a Roach Renard if it was a Nidus, but the second gas seems like it's a kind of a weird time for 2-base Muta. I'm just...
Yeah, what if he goes for like Swarm Host or like really fast Lurkers?
But
we know it's going to be something
for
weird.
lurkers.
Yeah, you definitely need more gas.
You want more gas for anything I can think of right now.
You're right. But oh man, it's gonna get scouted immediately here, and there's no Spore Crawler.
Yeah,
He's
a
gonna lose
lot
so
of drones
much.
are going to go down here. Looks like this Oracle going to be getting out with its life too, which means it's a constant threat. And with this Nidus, he's going to be pulling all his queens too. So that's
Yeah.
going to be so scary for him.
Yeah, that does give me the chills, you know, just like, what are you gonna do? Leave your mineral line exposed? I feel like you at least want to get that Spore Crawler up, because when the double Oracle comes, he's gonna lose so many of his workers at home, and even if he goes and gets damage done on the other side, he needs to do game-ending damage.
Yeah, I mean, he's committed, right? He's built all these queens. He's gonna start that roach pump in just a moment here. Getting at least one Oracle would take a lot of the pressure off here, especially if the second one's pretty damaged. But, really good flank with that queen from the side. Can he get the second one, though?
Almost. I think one more hit and he would have got it, but here we go. Zeal is gonna have to react to this. He should know where it's gonna come from, or at least have an idea. He's hanging out in the middle just in case it is somewhere else, like outside of his nat, but he's getting shield batteries everywhere. Here comes the Nidus Worm in the bottom left-hand corner of Zeal's base, and he already has a Void Ray ready.
Yeah,
Pulling the probes, baby.
One Void Ray may not stand against all these queens. Two is going to be a lot more powerful. He needs to get those transfuses down, and that he does. Void Rays get targeted down immediately because obviously they can deal with the roaches better than everything else on the map right now for Zeal. This is a powerful build coming out of Plumerant.
It is, and he needs to get one more transfuse. Oh, well, looks like he is doing a pretty decent job here. He has a really sick supply lead right now. Oh my god, Joe, I think he's going to push on through.
Yeah, this is a huge army. He just needs to make sure he's prioritizing those Void Rays so his roaches can continue on the ground uncontested. GG. Georgia Tech is in this and putting themselves in a great position to maybe give the first loss to Washington State here.
That was so clutch to be able to actually make that work. Zeal had the information as early as possible, and maybe he thought it was going to be up the front. You know, I feel like he got 2 shield batteries at the front, and then he had an idea that it could be in the main. But I don't know, maybe he just wasn't able to kill the Nidus fast enough, or underestimated how much was going to actually come through it.
Yeah, I think you're right. It was
I mean,
kind of like
I underestimated how much was going to come through it after we lost the drones.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird Nidus build, it feels like. And maybe he just misread it, but he saw it. Like, we checked the vision. But anyways, congrats to Plumerant. Puts his team in a great position to potentially take this series. Don't go anywhere, guys. We're going to be right back with that 2v2.
but she said, trust me. These are the stories we will tell as I stood frozen, infinite. I almost fell, but I got a feeling and my heart starts beating, a sudden rush of feeling alive. This is freedom and I won't change, I won't phase out. I know God, let me go.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to the 2v2. We're going to have the Box Brothers, Cube Squared, as Fear Dragon and I call them, versus Lamb Sauce and Garage Door here. This match should be a lot of fun. I enjoy the 2v2 aspect of CSL. You play a lot of 2v2s, Kwame?
I actually haven't. I used to play it a lot more, but I don't know why. Maybe I just don't have any friends anymore. But I haven't. I don't even know the map pool. You know, this is gonna be the first time that I've seen this map. But I did do a bit of casting of them. You know, sometimes we do some fun things on stream, and then other times, you know, like CSL, they did it in the last season, so I was able to check it out.
Well, spawning here in the bottom left-hand side, we have the Box Brothers playing for Georgia Tech. Give it up for GSOC Cubed.
And Boxed Cube.
And in the top right-hand corner, their opponents playing for the University of Washington. We have the Garage Door.
And get the Lamb Sauce.
Man,
Lamb Sauce.
his name makes me so hungry.
You know?
When I think of lamb sauce, I think of like do you guys have like the halal carts in Boston?
Probably.
It's like $5 and you get like lamb and rice with the white sauce and the red sauce.
Oh, I've never got it before. But when I
they're
think about
so
it, I'm
good.
thinking of you know, like gyros when you get
Yeah, same thing, same thing.
Okay.
That's the sauce I'm thinking of, and I just want to eat all that sauce.
Raw sauce. It's the I forget what it's called, but it has a cool name to it.
Tzatziki.
Yeah.
It's like
I
a
love it.
yogurt cucumber dill sauce.
So good. Oh,
bit of
drone
drone
getting in
harass.
on some action right now, trying to take out the Box Brothers or the Cube Brothers.
Puck called. He wants his strategies back. Or Huck, not Puck.
Huck. Yep. Oh, Huck, yeah, with the most annoying probe known to man. But this is actually going to lock the drone in. No, I believe there's another way that they can get out. So it's kind of an interesting team here. TVP versus a ZVT. Oh, that's not really the way to say it, but you know. Protoss
Yeah,
and a
yeah,
Terran
it's,
versus a Zerg Terran.
Yeah. Protoss Terran versus Zerg Terran. I think historically Zerg Terran's been considered one of the stronger lineups here. But or Terran Protoss is good. I think you generally just want a Terran because, like, you know, the coreness of those drops in their matchup, it makes it a lot easier to pull your opponents apart, and you kind of have to pull your opponents apart if you want to win in 2v2.
Oh, you really do. You can do some really sick coordinated attacks. You can do coordinated multi-prong. I remember back in the day, I don't know how popular it is anymore, but there was a very popular, you know, Blue Flame Hellion with Lings. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, and then the Zerg would go into mutas.
You could just do
yeah.
so many cool things.
That mobility and speed is super powerful. You can either kind of play with like mobility and speed and harass oriented and try to push your opponent apart, or the other strategy we do see a lot of teams going in for with the CSL is you just build one huge army and you try to like punch one team in the face before the other team can react. Right, and then you basically fight two armies separately, and you just win because you have more stuff.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if we're going to see any early game harass at all. You know, it's obviously trying to get that early advantage if you can, but just a little bit of some map awareness here out of Garage Door with his Reaper, while we do have Lamb Sauce with a couple of Lings on the map. They don't have speed yet, so I would say it's usually a little risky when you go out onto the map without it, but it did just complete.
Now, the Cube brothers are an interesting team here because they're both diamond. They're probably not as strong as the Lamb Sauce Garage Door combo, but they're the Cube brothers, and they play really well together. They tend to have more thought-out coordinated strategies. I'm curious what they're going to be doing with this little poke, with the Marines and the Reapers and the Cyclone. And it's going to be all backed up by Adepts, so let's see if they can make something like this work.
Yep, they're pushing out already. The Adepts are shading out onto the middle of the map. And I believe that the Lings of Lamb Sauce were able to at least catch wind of it, so knows that there is potential for a bit of aggression to be coming out. I don't know if they were able to see the unit composition of Boxed Cube, though. Who's actually
G-Sock
pulling
Cube.
a few of his SCVs.
G-Sock Cube has a gateway on the map here at the gold base of his opponent, and he's going to be going for a couple warp-in rounds. This is going to be a very aggressive one base each play. I don't know if you call that a two base play or a one base play.
Yeah, the two-base play.
But they're only going to be sitting on one base. Their opponents have expanded up to two, so it's going to be incumbent upon Georgia Tech to try to make something happen here. They're getting right on top of this army. Garage Door not moving out of his base just yet, and this is going to absolutely steamroll the defenses that Lamb Sauce has out.
Wow, yeah, these are resonating Glaive Adepts, by the way. And with the Cyclones coming in, they're going to do so much better against the Roaches if they target fire. But it's all about getting this damage done. Is he going to get the economy? It looks like there's a bit of defense. Garage Door coming on over to help his friend out. Lamb Sauce has already lost a few drones here, but I mean, I think he might actually have enough with the Roaches popping out.
Yeah, that macro super powerful behind that, and they were actually even able to overwhelm the repair of the SCVs here. The few remaining Adepts are going to get cleaned up, and it looks like this attack's been held with very little damage taken.
Yeah, that was looking pretty scary at first.
12 drones did go down. But I think you're going to feel okay when your opponents are sitting on one base.
Exactly. They both had expanded, remember. So being able to hold this off of two bases, not really losing that much relatively. I guess obviously when it's, let's say, the quote-unquote like better player, the higher ranked player of the team is the one that takes the more damage, you could say that, like, yeah, you want him to be ahead all the time, but he also has the better comeback potential, I would say. So knowing in what kind of position that he's in is going to make it so that Lamb Sauce doesn't make the wrong decisions. So
yeah, although this Protoss army is looking pretty scary against the Terran army of his opponent, and they may try to force their way up this ramp. The bunker is going to have some Marines jump in there, most likely. This Supply Depot is going to fall, but just sitting in the DPS of that bunker is so dangerous. And now Garage Door has a Liberator out. You can't sit under that, and I think this is going to be all she wrote for the 2v2 as the army of the Cube brothers continues to disappear.
yeah, it's starting to, and even though the bunker went down, that Liberator is still alive. I mean, you can't really count him out just yet. There's a lot of Cyclones that are here, but as they start to get taken out, if that Medevac falls, there is no more micro potential here. And it is going down. The Medevac is down. And now the Cyclones of Garage Door are coming to close in on this army. But nope, they just gonna be like, no, back up the ramp, back up the ramp.
Yeah, the army keeps looking scary for a moment, and then you see like the allied army of Washington come over, and suddenly it just doesn't feel like there's a chance. They're actually pulling some SCVs to repair now. Garage Door feeling super comfortable in terms of economy, so you just want to make sure you don't die at the front of your ramp, so I really like that.
And I love the fact that he added a tank too. Like that zone over there, he really can't go over there, right? The Cyclones are pretty safe, I would say.
Yeah, now it looks like these armies just going to be fighting straight up, and the macro of Lamb Sauce is actually going to overwhelm the two armies of his opponents. Ally coming down from the top here, and it looks like this is just going to be pushed back again. Box Cube is doing okay and keeping up in supply, but G-Sock Cube is really starting to run on this team here.
Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble. G-Sock Cube did end up taking an expansion, and it looks like Box Cube is going to try to take one too, but Garage Door and Lamb Sauce, they have been on two bases this whole time. Even Lamb Sauce taking a third base. I believe he was able to get up to Lair, maybe? No. Okay, he was able to get up to Lair. So what is he going to go for next? Will he keep on going for Roaches, or is he going to try to switch up the tech?
He went for Lair before that attack hit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I think it might have finished up mid-first attack, and now I think he might just kind of have it and be prioritizing his economy right now. I mean, it makes sense. You get Roach speed, right? That's a cheap upgrade, and you already invested in the Lair, and you invested in a bunch of Roaches.
Yeah.
I think right now he's probably just going to be looking to bulk out his army.
Yeah, it looks like it. gets that third base run, and he's starting to drone up again too. So his economy is going to be great. And yeah, even Garage Door setting up for what looks to be Bio with a few tanks. But what about the Q brothers, right? They had their first attack. I mean, I would say it failed, but you know, obviously they did get a lot of worker damage done. But I guess the only issue was that they hadn't taken their bases in time.
Catching that Liberator in the middle of the map, really nice pickup there.
Not bad. Yeah, they hadn't got their bases in time for it to make it so that like the trade would be better if it's even for them. But in this case, they needed to overwhelm, I would say.
Yeah, the one thing they do have going for them is this third base is in a super vulnerable position. Roach Speed's now finishing up, so he does have a bit more mobility to try to defend on that side of the map. But, I mean, it's going to be possible to make something happen. It's just not going to be easy.
It won't be easy for sure. So we're going to see a transition out of Jigsaw Cube going for Phoenixes, actually. And, you know, he's still sticking onto that gateway tech. Remember, he does still have Resonating Glaive, so there is a bit of harassment potential there. And, I mean, I swear, Garage Door has just been making workers all day. He has so many workers up. He's almost up to 70 SCVs right now. And with that income, he can even funnel some of it to Landcake, who did take a little bit of an economic hit earlier on, but he's starting to catch back up.
Oh man, Kwame. That attack set Box Cube and G-Sock Cube's tech so far back.
Yeah.
That Stim and Combat Shield are only just halfway done now. 10
Wow.
minutes into the game.
Yeah.
Like, imagine how helpful that would have been in those attacks. But I guess then you don't hit maybe the timing you're aiming for. It's just going to be really tough here. That they're trying to make up so much lost ground. I almost
They really
wonder,
are here.
Like, do you go for a super defensive position in this and just try to get up to an army where you can kill your opponent's army once and then win? Or do you just try to take risks?
Yeah, I think you do want to take risks here, and also maybe a little bit of harassment. You're trying to catch back up and then, of course, offset the time that they were mining from those two bases while you were only on one. But I feel like the time has passed, that income is starting to really show itself. And, you know, if they sit back and wait, it's not going to end well for them, right? So they definitely want to do something about it. But it looks like Garage Door is going to be the guy who goes and actually gets the harassment done as he drops in the back base of Box Cube. And the army is so far out of position.
Yeah, this is absolutely brutal. Losing that command center. No liftoff, no repair. Stalker is finally going to come help try to deal with this. It looks like this drop will eventually get cleaned up. But you're going to be perfectly happy trading a bunch of Marines. Okay, it's a little better that he cleaned up the medevacs as well.
Yeah, that was really cool. The fact that the Phoenixes are going to be able to get some value. But on the other side of things, Garage Door making another push in the middle of the map, and it is going to be followed up by the Roaches and Ravagers from Lamb Sauce.
Yeah, that third base going to be under threat. There's a single tank here shelling out damage in the back for Boxed Cube. But the Cube Brothers
there's
armies,
4 in the back for Garage Door.
Yeah, even the Queen's coming down to help out with this fight. He had to make a bunch defensively due to that early pressure. Why not send them in? Every SCV coming off the line to give the hug of death to these units. And it looks like if Georgia Tech wants to win, it is going to be completely on Theory to make things happen.
Yeah. Oh, this is too much. Even Hydras are here. GG's going to be called. And Washington, University of Washington, going to get another W.
Putting one on the board. That brings the score to 2-1 for the series. And congrats to them. Box Cube Brothers not quite able to make it happen this time. But it's not over yet. We still have potentially 2 games left in the series. Can Theory pull a 2-0 or 2 in a row out rather? Or is Washington State going to add another one to their belt? Don't go anywhere because we will be right back to find out.
Slightly but she said, trust me, these are the stories we will tell. As I stood frozen, infinite, I almost fell, but I got a feeling and my heart starts beating, a sudden rush of feeling alive. This is freedom and I won't change, I won't phase out. I know.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to the CSL. We are on game 4 of a best of 5, and Washington State just took the lead with a pretty convincing performance in that 2-2.
Yeah, it was a really sick hold, and then just a follow-up push. Not only just a push, but a drop. So it pulled the units all the way into the back of the base while they set up a push at the front and were able to take that win. So that was really, really well done.
This is going to be a fun series as well, I think. JXP versus Theory coming up on Battle on the Boardwalk. And this map, oh boy, if you haven't played Ladder, this map is a lot of fun.
Oh, man. I don't think I cast one game of Battle on the Boardwalk all weekend.
Yeah, I guess when you have all that money on the line, no one wants to play on this map. But anyways, guys, we're going to be getting into our fourth game of the series here in just a moment.
All right.
And spawning here in the top right-hand corner, playing for the University of Washington, it is JXP.
And in the top left-hand corner, playing for Georgia Tech, their last life, it is Theory. Now keep in mind, Theory has only lost in the ace match, and there weren't any scrubs, I'll tell you. Jon Snow and Suppy, having those be the only two people that you've lost to, you can't really be too ashamed about that at all. So
No.
let's hope that he can bring it back for his team.
JXP is a high-level player, but I think Theory is like clearly the favorite here. I think JXP is like a Masters 1 player.
Okay.
So it's not inconceivable that he would beat Theory, but I would say it's unlikely.
All right. Well, he needs to, yeah.
Theory's kind of an old school guy. He's been around since Wings. Ben and GM. He actually was on FXO at one point.
Oh,
Back when they had the NA team with Desro
yeah.
and stuff.
Like Sheth?
Yeah. No. Oh yeah, Sheth was on
Sheth was on
before
FXO.
Liquid.
We had quite a few people actually. Jeez, I remember Railkun. He was like the either the team manager, or player manager, or something. But remember FXO Boss? Like he was just like the one that ran it out. Oh no, this guy was the man. He was the OG of NA StarCraft team owners.
But anyways, it does look like it's going to be a Reaper opening from JXP. Nothing too crazy coming up just yet here.
No,
Theory?
but things could get crazy on this map. You have that wide open natural as you see Theory taking his natural at it. And then, of course, the gold base that is in the bottom corner of each player's spawn.
So I have a question for you, Kwame. Is
All
this
right.
an in-base gold?
It actually is.
But, like, is it?
I mean, there are rocks on the other side, but, like, I don't know. I feel like you can say, yeah, this is my base over here, man. I own this over here.
It's funky because the distance is so crazy, but it is insulated.
Technically, yeah. Like, if this was a binary true or false, I believe the true would be the one.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anyone's going to go for that. I mean, it's such a crazy risk to take. I think players tend to just ignore it. It's almost like a gentleman's agreement.
Yep.
But
A lot of the times I see it get taken is if you do like a really early game cheese
oh yeah,
and then take it as a way to back up as like a fallback plan.
it can be super powerful too. But the first Stalker is going to be coming out. There should be enough here to push this away. And just going to poke at the front. See that command center's down, and that's going to give Theory some information.
Yep. He knows that it's an expand. It is not going to be like a second Reaper or something coming out like that. And even seeing a Marauder is interesting. He sees a very early Marauder. It means that the Tech Lab is on that barracks. So it's not going to be a lot of Marines coming out just yet. So if it were to be like a Stargate opener, he could try to take advantage of that because there would be a lack of anti-air. But it looks like it is going to be a Blink Stalker build out of Theory.
Yeah, those Stalkers do still 3-shot Marines, so why not? I gotta think. Do it while you still can. That patch hits after Leipzig.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're like an old school Wings player, you're probably pretty on top of your blinking.
I would say so. Yeah, theory. He's been blinking since the beginning of time. Since the boy had eyes, that's all he knew how to do.
Blinking before Neeb had ever held a keyboard.
Yep. He's blinking before Neeb even touched Pro does. Which I assume is after he touched the keyboard, but still.
Whoa, Theory dropped a gateway on the other side of the map. So this is going to be a 4-gate with a proxy gateway. This has the potential to be really powerful. His opponent does have a bunker down at the front, along with a Widow Mine, so that's going to be really helpful with the hold here. But I don't think he sniffed out that this is what's coming.
Nah, he didn't. But I do at least commend JXP for continuing with the Marauder production. He should have stim done by the time the push hits. And the fact that it's not only going to be Marines means that he's going to have a little bit of a better chance dealing with the Stalkers. As long as he can keep these Marauders alive and not lose these Marines too quick. Oh, I love that he did not let that Widow Mine go off, though. JXP micromanaging his Widow Mines.
Yeah, it was really full micro to both players. Theory tried to do the blink bait out with the Widow Mine, and JXP with the unburrow here. It looks like the Stalker is going to continue to try to pull this out. The blink back does occur, and now these Widow Mines are going to be revealed, or at least one of them is.
Yep, but with the Marauders inside of the bunker, they get that extra range, and they do really well against Stalkers, but Theory is starting to get a decent Stalker count up. And I like that JXP went for another bunker, but can he even get it up? Nope.
Yeah, these Stalkers are doing their best. There's no repair on the bunker just yet. They are going to get it. And now these Stalkers can kind of like dance around with impunity. You don't want to be bleeding those out. Every unit's so important, and the blink is not on cooldown.
Oh my gosh. Well, remember though, Theory is not all in with this. He did only do 4 gates with it, and he's also taking the 3rd. He just started it though, and I think he realized that he wasn't going to be able to kill JXP. So he takes the 3rd base, gets a Forge. He can still harass a bit with the Blink Stalkers, but dang, yo, looking like these Marines and Marauders are pretty hungry. They're hungry.
Yeah,
they had some pizza rolls, Joe.
This is kind of a scary position for both players. 80 pizza
80
rolls.
pizza rolls.
80 pizza rolls.
Oh,
I found one on the floor today, so technically we ate 79.
You ate
so
that
I
pizza
think
roll
our
on the
calorie.
ground. Please tell me.
No, God no, it was 2 days old.
Come on, 80.
Okay, so once again, it looks like this bio is going to be chasing down these badly damaged Stalkers, and if they can get on top of it, they can kill that pretty quickly. But you don't want to get caught too far out. You don't want to have like some Marines get sniped down and then they blink away for free.
Rather, Theory has done a really good job at keeping the medevac count down. So he was able to snipe a few, or at least only just one. I thought he sniped a few more, but it looks like we just haven't seen that much medevac production out of JXP, who is focusing more on getting out units. I don't believe he started... Oh, no, he is. He actually almost has +1 complete. So, yeah, JXP doing everything right. I think, taking a 3rd.
I love this. 2 Adepts coming out from that bottom proxy gateway. It doesn't look like they're going to get anything done, but it's a cool risk to... Actually, they're not even going to attack anything.
They kind of just face plant
kind of watered
into
around
the bullets
until they got deaded.
Yep. They had better luck at the first time they did that, but the second time, not so much.
Yeah, smart of JXP to leave a couple units behind in the back there. Theory, though, is on a rolling 3-base economy, and he's getting his Dark Shrine up as well. So...
Oh, this is so cool, by the way. Getting a Dark Shrine and still having the gateway down there is going to allow him to get some harassment done while trying to defend against this inevitable tank push. How many tanks is it? Oh, it's only 1 tank, so, it's not going to be that scary aside from the sheer amount of bio that's going to have +1.
Yeah, there is an Immortal to help try to anchor this, but it's mostly going to be Stalkers against Stim bio. The medevac count is pretty low, though, so we can't be overusing with those Stims. Really nice Force Fields go down, cut that army in half. And it actually looks like Theory's going to hold a very scary army here with, like, minimal losses.
Yeah, I don't know how he was able to do that so efficiently. And now, yep, with getting the last medevac as well as the tank, no more sieging opportunity. It's not going to snowball out of control. And
went mute. Kwame, you're muted. Kwame, can you hear me? Okay, guys, so I'm going to let Kwame talk while I try to fix the audio. Okay, so it looks like these Stalkers going to be pushing up into this attack, and all these SCVs going to be coming off the line. There's a lot of sentries here, but not a lot of units to deal damage. The Dark Templar coming back in from behind. So clutch. 15 SCVs have already fallen. It looks like Fury is going to make this happen as he continues to push forward, getting so many more SCVs as they're evacuating up the ramp. Really nice force fields going down, stopping that evacuation. And just really well done by Kwame here, or by Fury here, who is continuing to push all of this down. He's forced his opponent back onto one base. The main is now being floated up, and JXP is going to call GG. Guys, we're going to jump immediately to a quick break while I figure out what just happened with my sound.
But she said, trust me, these are the stories we will tell. As I stood frozen, infinite, I almost fell. But I got a feeling and my heart starts beating, a sudden rush of feeling alive. This is freedom and I won't change, I won't phase out.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back.
I'm just kidding.
I was gonna tell you to do that, and then I forgot.
I'm just kidding. We had a little bit of an audio issue, guys, but yeah. Hopefully it won't happen again, but we agree that we will text cast.
Yeah, so if the audio issue does reoccur, our plan, guys, is to type the cast in text. I will mute myself because it would not be fair to Kwame. And hopefully that will provide an entertaining backup option for you. Now, anyways, we are into our ace game of the series. Popping here in the top left is our Purple Protoss player. Give it up for Theory.
And in the bottom right-hand corner, the ace for University of Washington. Give it up for Lamb Sauce. Never gonna get tired of that game, or that name. It reminds me of like Farm Cakes, you know? You just, one of those names that you just...
It's very memey.
Yeah.
I do think Theory is probably the more experienced player. You know, I know he's played on main stages at LANs in the past. I remember he played Desro maybe back at the DC LAN that Red Bull held.
Oh, okay.
Ace match, high pressure. I think that kind of stuff matters just as much as player skill. It's like mental
really
toughness,
does.
you know?
Yeah. Luckily for them, though, they're not on a main stage because that can really break somebody as well. So, you know, I think they can kind of chill out, realize that the pressure is on, but not get too overwhelmed by it, right? So the fact that Theory, of course, has to win 2 in a row, I mean, including the one that he just won last, or not including the one that he won last. It is, yeah, including, right? Wow. English is hard sometimes, but literally whoever wins this game is going to win it for their team. There you go. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, Lamb Sauce is a really good player. I think he likes to be aggressive, if I remember. He has an 89% match win rate. Theory's is pretty similar. The only matches he's lost are in the ace match, and it's only 2 Zergs.
Yep.
So that would kind of be the big weakness I see here. Maybe he does struggle with Zergs. They're top tier Zergs, Jon Snow and Suppy. But Lamb Sauce is slowly climbing his way up there. We'll have to see if he can make it happen here against Georgia Tech today, or if they're going to get their first loss.
Yeah, this is a pretty high pressure situation, and we already saw that Lamb Sauce went for a bailing bust in the first game that he played. A little bit different here is that he's not completely pulling out of gas, but he's not completely staying in either. He's going to leave 2 inside of the gas, which is going to delay the third just by a little bit, but maybe he doesn't want to take that third at that time, you know? Definitely show that he is prone to do some aggression, or at least has the potential to do it.
Yeah, you'd think you'd see a Bane nest down, although he could just make a bunch of Lings and try to run them in the front, because Protoss players sometimes forget to wall.
Yep. It's all too true, especially when you don't use your tech building to wall off. The Stargate is going to go down for Theory inside of the main, and this wall will be in time. The Adept doesn't even need to be chrono boosted, but the fact that we see Warp Gate being chrono boosted makes me wonder if there's going to be a really quick follow-up after the Oracle.
Yeah, it's a definite possibility here. And that's right at the front as well. We're also going to see that Sentry getting out. Theory does not want to die to any early game shenanigans. He saw his teammates game with Lamb Sauce, you know?
Yep.
And he was probably got that in his head as he's getting that Sentry chronoed out here.
Yeah, even getting a shield battery for up there in the front. But it is just going to be that Oracle. Most likely going to make a second one, or a Phoenix if he wants to clear out the Overlords, but if he suspects something is coming, then yeah, we may see the Void Ray come out as well. But if you look at Lamb Sauce's base, he's not doing anything out of the ordinary. He ended up taking the third, except that it was on the, the one that's to the left of the main. So I believe that the probe that Theory had was in the north one. So, he might have been a little bit nervous for a tiny bit of time, but...
Ooh, Lamb Sauce saw that Oracle as it was leaving the base. That's
nice.
Really nice scout. Plenty of time to get his Spore Crawlers in perfect position here, and just hunkered down for what he knows is coming. That third, it will have 1 drone on it. Theory may want to stop and pick it up, but more likely he's just going to go straight to the main with this really cool skinned Oracle.
Oh, I really like this one. That's pretty sick looking. Oh, he's going to do the Stasis Ward. I like that a lot. Only gets 2 of the drones, and usually you want to try to get the larva with it too, but, I guess,
Good
sometimes
effort.
in this day and age, oracles don't get that much done. We only saw it do that much in the first game, is because there literally were no spore crawlers at all.
Yeah, Theory did go for the Phoenix as the second option. I like that. It's guaranteed damage. You know your opponent is going to have at least one Overlord out on the map. A pretty good chance you can pick up a second one, and it gives you such great scouting potential. And the Phoenixes are a little tankier than the Oracles too, so you can kind of do more with them for a lower risk.
And we've also seen people go in, lift up the Queen, and then use the Oracle to get a bit more damage and only take damage from the Spore Crawler. So that's a possibility, but I still like it to clear out the Overlords, especially when it looks like he might be going for a bit of
Kwame,
aggression.
look at that third. That was the money stasis that he was looking for earlier.
Oh my god.
That's like 8, 9, 10 drones being stopped.
That's insane, yeah. And he has to remember to bring them back, okay.
Huge amount of lost mining time, although I still don't know if that's better than like 4 kills.
Right? Yeah, it's hard to get 4 kills nowadays unless you have double Oracle, but I still love that. The fact that he was able to get so many.
Yeah, super cool play out of Theory. He's now taking down his third. He's bought plenty of time. This little Gateway army is going to easily push back any small Ling run-bys that come up, and he's we're actually going to be dealing with a big Roach push out, it looks like, in the near future, but he has the tools to deal with that as well, with the Zealot charge on the way and Archons being morphed in.
Yep, Archon's being morphed in. I believe he already has the the Immortal Factory guys, the Robo Facility. But we're gonna see a bit of aggression with the Warp Prism as he takes out both of the Archons. He is gonna fly over this army. Maybe he sees the Lings, but does not see the Roaches. So he's gonna try to defend without the Archons. And he doesn't really have anything at home, Joe. And
No,
by
he
not
does
really
not.
anything, I mean like literally nothing.
Literally nothing. That first Immortal is going to be out, but it needs some buffer. Immortals are good, but they're not that good unless you're Print F. And here comes the big Roach army. It's going to be pushing into the front here. Actually, picking up all these Gateway units is super, super nice for Lamb Sauce, and Theory looks to be in a lot of trouble here.
Yeah, he even brought back the Archon, so they weren't able to get any damage done. He knows that he needs it for the defense. His school's life is on the line right now, and he is the last hope. This defense really means everything here, and there's so much Zerg on the map.
So far, this defense looks really, really good. He cannot get that Immortal out soon enough here. Every unit that he's throwing into this choke is just buying just enough time, and here is the power play, the second Immortal. That's going to help so much with the Roaches. The Archon still alive, dealing damage from the front. I think Theory is going to make this hold.
Yeah, he's just barely holding it here as he micros these Immortals. If he loses it, oh no, he does. And all he has now is an Archon and an Immortal.
He still has the Oracle. If that can get a little more energy, that can help clean up some of the Lings. And then it's just Roaches, but suddenly things that were looking very hopeful are starting to look a bit more grim. 4 Zealots being warped in. The Archon and the Immortal are so damaged and vulnerable here. He has to make this hold happen now. He doesn't want to be losing any more production.
Oh, there's so much. He's trying the Warp Prism, a key unit, and at least the micro potential here. But with Hydras even being added, I don't know. It looks like it just might be too much. I think Georgia Tech, yeah, they might be falling here as Theory is on his last legs. Is Washington going to go 5-0 on the legs of Lamb Sauce?
6-0.
Oh
if they
my
continue
god.
this. Yeah,
Wow.
pretty impressive by them. There is still 2 Immortals alive, so I don't want to say it's over, but at every second this goes on, it just becomes more and more perilous for Theory. He's trying his best to get solidified here, but
Oh,
Lamb
yeah.
Sauce with just a really powerful Roach Hydra attack.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere, you know? Theory was like, all right, I'm going to get some harassment done, and then little did he know that Lamb Sauce just was like, no, I'm just going to kill you, try to just win. Not going to let you do any harassment, you know, buy any time to get your third running.
Yeah, I mean,
Because, yeah, there's nothing left. And he's supply blocked. Theory can't even warp in anything anymore.
that's what happens when you lose all your pylons and nexuses. GG is called, and Washington takes the series, going up 3-0 or 3-2 rather. Really close series. Really good games though.
Oh, yeah. That was actually really awesome. Indeed. So, yeah, maybe you were right. That Zerg weakness here is what Theory was hoping that he wouldn't have to face, but with Lamb Sauce being one of their star players, if not, you know, the guy to go to. So, I don't know, Zeal.
Zeal didn't look quite as good maybe as I think he normally does. But
Maybe he wasn't feeling it and was like, yeah, you got this one, Lammy.
yeah, Lamb Sauce is kind of the hot up and coming player. Zeal's a little, maybe more of the older Master Roshi type.
Mm-hmm.
But that's going to do it for us, guys. So thank you so much to our sponsors, Twitch. They help make this happen. So big shout out to them. You can tweet out thank you if you want to support the CSL. And we will be back next week, or rather Thursday, with some StarCraft Brood War.
Oh, wait. There might be something. You read
What?
the chat.
What's the chat?
Potentially, Lamb Sauce, I believe, played in Game 1 and Game 3.
Whoa.
So couldn't be eligible for Game 5 because I believe even though it's an ace match, you can only use a player
That
twice
is correct, guys.
total.
We're going to jump into a super quick break
Okay, sure.
while we figure out what's going on. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Dude.
Between us, before tomorrow comes, and it all gets lost again. The ashes burn down brightest when we've everything to lose. And so scribble me out. Mistakes erased, forgotten. Life goes on without me. But she said, trust me, these are the stories we will tell. As I stood frozen, infinite, I almost fell. But I got a feeling and my heart starts beating, a sudden rush of feeling alive. This is freedom and I won't change, I won't phase out. I'm no go.
Right from the start, we knew that this would never be now, baby. Be now, baby. We're miles apart, and we just wanna let it free now, baby. Free now, baby. 'Cause I won't.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome. We do have an official ruling. It appears that we are going to be playing a 5th match again. So, good thing...
5.5.
5.5. Good thing I did not turn the stream off.
I know, right?
It's getting ready to wrap up. So, yeah, what happened was, in CSL you're allowed to play 2 matches. Now, you can play a 1v1 and you can play the ace, or you can play a 1v1, the 2v2, and not the ace. Lamb Sauce played all 3, so the match does not count. What we're
I
going to
think
be
we
doing...
just overlooked it, so it was like, all right.
Yeah, it's a thing that happens sometimes, basically. It's unfortunate when you catch it after the fact, but at the end of the day, no harm, no foul, because luckily it's not like a bracket where like players kept advancing. It's just like a regame, basically.
Or even like the same matchup. You know, imagine that. It's like, nope, now I know you're playing. Thanks for.
So, oh, cool. My game is not loading in. There we go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, playing once again for Georgia Tech. It is our purple Protoss player. Give it up for Theory.
And in the top left-hand corner for University of Washington, it is the red Protoss player, Zeal.
2 guys, both Protosses, both have super cool names.
That they do.
Coincidence? You decide.
You decide. Hey, you know what I noticed too?
What's up?
Gucci Theory is the same letters as Georgia Tech. GT.
Ooh.
GT.
I wonder if that's on purpose
Gucci Tech.
or if that's just like a happy coincidence.
I hope it's a happy coincidence, yeah.
I think that Theory probably sponsored by Gucci.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Probably
know?
cuts a good line with their suit, so makes sense.
Not a bad theory to come to. Alright. Well, here we are. I don't think we have had a mirror match all night, so pretty cool that these 2 players are going to go against each other. Of course, Theory winning his match, but Zeal did not win his match. So, you know,
Yeah.
maybe that was a little bit of a wake-up or just a warm-up.
We'll have to see. It's lucky for Georgia Tech that Zeal was still around, or for Washington rather. Otherwise, they would have had to play, you know, a player that's probably not as good.
Yep.
It does look like Theory going for that scout. Wants to make sure there's no shit. You're probably like assuming that Zeal is kind of tilted right now because he
He's
has
like-
to play after he thought they won. So like you're gonna be
Right.
on the lookout for cheese.
And Cheese is what he's going to be doing, though, as we do see a pylon on the bottom side of the map. Zeal making probably a Stargate here. Tends to be the location where you would proxy a Stargate. Whereas
Yeah,
if it was to the north or something, you could do like an Immortal one, but
That does make sense. Zeal does have 2 warp gates out already. So I mean, this could be like a pretty potent little poke here.
yeah.
Is
He's
Theory
going for the
also
double Star-
proxying?
The double
Oh,
Stalker.
man.
What? Probe is going to get in, not see the second, or no, the second pylon is there.
Theory's just
the-
building
where's the third
pylons
one?
all over the map here.
Yeah. They're both, I mean, like, what's going on?
But they're not doing anything yet. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so this is going to be a 4 warp gate proxied. This is going to be
Wow.
super, super potent, and I truly hope Theory is doing the exact same thing.
I know, right? We see him. No, he's going for a Nexus, it looks like. But he might change his mind as soon as he is able to scout. And now the gig is up.
Yeah, so he can DPS down this No, he can't, because there's 2 Stalkers coming in from behind.
Yeah, they're going to be able to take out the Stalker as well, and that's actually going to be bad for Theory. You want to keep all of your Stalkers alive, especially when it's going to be this kind of aggression.
Although, if he can, like, trade out that 1 Stalker for 2 Stalkers, 1 is better, or 2 is better than 1. There are now 4 Stalkers here. Oh, this is so dangerous.
Oh, but he gets it, but he loses another one here, Joe. And I don't think these warp gates are going to get contested.
Yeah,
so I think Theory just has to fall back and hope that he can defend it.
Yeah, after losing 2 Stalkers, that's going to be tough. He's going for sentries, which suggests to me he may try to just hold the top of his ramp here.
Yeah, that'd probably be the best thing that he can do, right?
Yeah, it's
he even
all...
has a shield battery here too, right? So this is going to be probably the most ideal defense location.
This all, like, every option here seems kind of bad, though, just because right now Zeal can push out, he can contain. I mean, he doesn't have to go super all in at this point just because he's already got his opponent locked into his base. The probe count is similar. Basically, the only 2 things out on the map are the 2 gateways. And Theory is going for a Dark Shrine. I love this because he already has that proxy pylon out on the map.
Yep. Oh, this is so sick. So if he can buy enough time, this is going to be a really nice condition here. I love that he's warping 2 Adepts outside, so he's going to get some harassment done. And, oh my god. Okay. So he does not know about the Dark Shrine. Remember, the Adept Shade vision has been limited. And what is going to be the transition? If you see a lot of Stalkers at the top, I guess Robotics Facility is a reasonable choice.
It's a free sentry if he wants that. That's a nice pickup. Especially with the Dark Shrine coming in. Like, the sentry could theoretically see it and drop that force field. Not going to happen anymore.
This is so sick, man. Just the fact that he's able to get something done while being contained. Zeal trying to get some economic leads here by taking that base, but if he can distract Zeal for long enough and then he gets out, say, an Immortal in order to, okay, I was going to say supplement his army, then he wouldn't get the Observer out in time, but it looks like he's going to just be a little bit safe here. Not take any chances, especially since he's going to be going for the base.
Yeah, and he's pretty far ahead already, it feels like. Oh no, he's behind in Worker. It's a weird situation.
Right, because 27 workers inside of your main. I mean, he is 1. No, yeah, he's oversaturated by a little bit.
Right, but I mean, with those Chrono Boost, Zeal is going to be able to get the probes out so much faster in Theory, so I think he should close that gap and maybe even pass him a bit here. Theory is actually long-distance mining with some of his probes. His current income is a bit higher than his opponent's, but they're basically in that same area.
Yeah.
And, Zeal, it feels like, has just the more mobile army with all these Stalkers out on the map.
Oh, yeah, you know, being able to at least see the army of his opponent as it did kill the double gateways, which is a big deal. Remember, that is 2 of his production structures that were used in order to try to do the all-in. But now they've been taken out, and I think he's only working off of 2 gateways total. So his reinforcement capability is going to be pretty hindered, and I wonder, are we even going to see the Dark Templar, or does he feel like Zeal was just like, okay, he's probably ready for it by now.
Here comes Theory poking into the back of this mineral line with just a single Adept. And I think the thing with the Dark Templar is, like, you know, he made it then, but you don't have to use it then.
Right.
You can always make a bunch of Dark Templar later in the game and run in and see if you can make something happen.
Oh, and it does look like it was scouted. So that might be the case. I don't know if the Adept got in with the Shade, but yeah, if you look at Zeal's vision, he sees the Dark Shrine warping in, and this might be the reason why he decided not to go through with it.
Yeah, he just got a second scout confirming that it finished as well, which maybe you think he cancels it after, but you just want to confirm. And knowing that it's finished, that does mean that Zeal's going to leave detection. I almost said observation. That's not a thing that you get in StarCraft 2.
Ooh, get some observation. I gotta get my observation units up in the laboratory.
Yeah, Zeal's army just looks so much scarier, even though they're on like pretty similar. Or no, they're not on similar army supply. Theory has a huge worker lead.
Oh yeah, the Immortals that are going to be there. So it's going to be the use of Charge Lot Archon versus Immortal Stalker Sentry.
Yeah, this is actually a really scary push coming out of Zeal. With those 2 Immortals anchoring everything here, the Observer to ward off any DT attacks. There's no proxy pylon, so it's not like Theory can kind of like hold and take a bunch of damage and like do counter damage with a run by of his own. He has to hold this attack here. and I don't know if he has the tools to do that.
No, he doesn't even have any Zealots out just yet, so he invested into Charge, and not even going to be able to utilize it. He needs it pretty bad. I mean, I guess he doesn't need it, but I feel like if you're going to invest into it, it's always nice to be able to do that, especially when there are Immortals here.
Yeah, I mean, his Zealot count is starting to climb up here, and that
Yep.
charge is going to go off. Oh, really good force fields here. And Zeal is going to knock down that chrono boosted gateway and start pushing his way further and further into this base.
All right, well, it's only 29 workers of the 42 of Theory, so he does have a better economy. Gonna blink up top, try to spread his units out. He did have the High Templars there. I don't know if he used it on a feedback or used the feedback with it, but looking like he's pushing back. Zeal gonna get Blunk on, and is this the right choice here, Joe?
I think it is for Zeal. His Stalker count is so much higher than his opponent's. He's even going to take out those sentries at the back. It's basically just an Archon and a handful of Stalkers against all of this meaty army of Zeal. The Archon can get on top of him, but I think that Zeal's Stalkers can just kite that back forever.
Yeah. I feel like, though, Theory, if he just uses the shield battery, keeps on warping in, I do not know how many more gateways were made. It looks like Zeal did make 3 more to make that attack work. But Theory,
He's
might have got a
going
little bit overzealous by blinking on top of him. And that might be the reason why he lost so much. But at the end of the day, he's on a better economy. Might not have as many Immortals. I don't know how many Immortals went down during that attack, but it's looking like the game is going to continue, with Theory having a supply lead.
Absolutely, and it looks like Theory. That was a really good hold by Theory. I'm
Yeah.
kind of like in awe trying to process it. PvP, not my knowledge specialty here, but it does now look like Theory going to be pushing out really small Stalker army. I think like getting caught with this would be super scary when you're Theory, because you're still a little bit behind our army supply, but he is starting to get that tech lead with all those Archons coming out. They're going to be super powerful in any engagements coming up against mostly just gateway units.
Exactly. It looks like, a little bit of a Warp Prism harass inside of the main of Theory. Gonna lose a few of these probes, but that shield battery is gonna keep some of them alive. And now, you have 5 kills. Not too bad. Not too bad at all.
Theory coming up here once again. Is he going to go in for a blink of his own? That would not be a great idea, given the large army at the front of Zeal.
Yeah. Oh, when he loses another Stalker. Just losing units like that is just, never a good idea. I mean, sometimes you want to sacrifice a few to get some probes, or maybe you even want to go and check out that unit comp if you don't have an observer of your own, but a little bit of a blunder losing some of the Stalkers. Even though they do lose a bit of their effectiveness, the more Immortals do get onto the map.
Yeah, absolutely. It does look like Theory going to be probing up that third. As it finishes here, Zeal sees absolutely everything.
Yeah, I love the observer too, knowing that the third is being taken. He can float on over to see the army comp. But I feel like if Theory would add more Immortals too, with this at the charge lot Archon, this would be really good against the amount of Blink Stalkers that Zeal has. Target fire the Stalkers with the Immortals, and then let the Archons protect everything.
That's 6 Archons though, Tempo. That's so
a lot of Archons.
much power, and like the
Overwhelming
kind of
almost.
pseudo splash
amount of power.
damage.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Do they need more buffer than this?
I mean, there's a decent amount of Zealots. I think they kind of do blend together a bit, but just looking at it, 15 Zealots on the map, 6 Archons, even DTs getting inside of the main as well. Oh my god! Dang! DT's in the
GG
main
is
with
called.
a Zealot warping when his army was out of position. Theory is able to win it.
And that puts a loss on the board for Washington. Big congratulations for Georgia Tech for being the first team to do that. And I believe we're confirming with our admin now, these results are final. There was no illegal plays.
Yeah, actually, there was the no DT rule when Ravi's out of the country.
All right, but I think that's going to do it for us here at the CSL, guys. Once again, thank you, Twitch, for helping to make this happen. Would not be possible without them, and thank you to all of our wonderful sponsors. Follow me on Twitter at Joe Laguidis, Kwame's at Team Tempo, and we will see you Thursday.
Later.